Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live stream here. It's Sunday morning, October 6th. So join me today and let's talk about improvisation, guitar, and I'll discuss a little bit about what I have been putting out as far as shorts and things like that. Thank you, Jason L, for your super chat. Appreciate it. So I'll be streaming on mobile and desktop today. So I'll do a little playing as we start out. Okay, everybody. So that those changes were from all of me, and I'm considering putting together a chord melody video on that. Let me know if you know that tune out there and have played that before. I'll maybe talk about a few things here with respect to a video put out recently on the minor blues, and so some things to kind of consider as you practice, you know, at any level. Say you're just beginning or have been playing for a while. When you approach, notes on the guitar, set an intention for what you're working at. So have a clear goal in mind. So when you're working on, and I may do some videos kind of related to this, but when you're working on, let's say, the 5 fingerings of the guitar, this being one of those. You know, what is your intention when you do that? So I would say the intention is to kind of burn in that shape, memorize the position and where the notes are, so that when you're playing, whether it be a melody or an improvisation, to have access to, okay, where are these things? So those are your notes, and you can pull some lines out of it, right? Okay, Eric writes in, thanks so much for writing. I encourage you to chat with me so I don't ramble on too much. Eric says, hey Jim, know that tune but not played it much. The minor blues material has been great. Okay, glad to hear it. Jason L says, cheers, I love the coffee mug. Yeah, I'm enjoying it too. So you have to tell me, yeah, it is focused there a little bit. If you can identify those chords, it's close enough. Let me know. It's hard to stick a mug in your face, but so that's kind of the design there. I've had that on my website for a while. But those are 3 chords. Let's say the root note would be on string 6, fret 3. But yeah, back to the fingerings, this falls into your whole caged thing, which is gives you a range of notes, right? It gives you a low note and a high note and everything in between within a couple of positions, right? So you've got to make sure you're strong on each one of those, and then they're movable for different keys. So this would generally be the key of C major, but also C minor. And I teach, when I teach private lessons up from really very young, I teach four scales. The one I'm just mentioning here, which is the major scale. And then 3 others, which I treat as generally kind of like problem solver type scales, but they could also be really nice palettes or kind of colors for modal tunes too. A lot of channels talk about 3, but I would recommend a total of 4. So I'll give you the 4th one here. Maybe I'll list that one out at the end. Focus on the fingering. Yeah, Eric says, yeah, the fingerings and the one harmonic movement, like 5-1. Yeah. What's interesting about that is it's all in there, right? So the 5, just want to be maybe a little bit selective about the notes. 5 chords are pretty easy because you can do four notes, right? So start on G, go every other note in that fingering I talked about. Okay, and then go into C, a major 7 arpeggio. So that would be a really great place to start there, just being selective. And that's the thing I think that catches folks with practicing these fingerings and thinking in scales, is that it doesn't really describe harmony, right? So that's why in the video, the recent video on the minor blues, I go through just a few numbers of the drills from my new book, ebook, and it's all about playing chord tones on strong beats and non-chord tones on weak beats. So if you're playing, G7, you're thinking, let's say, about the arpeggio. You can actually play through the scale and suggest the harmony by playing chord tones on strong beats. So let's say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, right? And then that's where you get into some of the other scales that I mix in, which is to do some passing tones. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So that just suggests this, right, to this. You play a simple C major scale. So you can kind of hear it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I'm just putting a passing tone in here. So knowing where to place chord tones on strong beats versus non-chord tones on weak beats can help you to create melodic lines that do outline the harmony, right? And then you get to your one chord. It's interesting about the C major is that the major 7 is really, it's kind of a leading tone back to the root. So you might even mess around with C6, right? Because that's a fairly more consonant sound than the major 7. But picking 4 notes that are arpeggios and seeing how they line up into the fingerings. Okay, so G7 to C, major 7. All right, yeah, so that movement of the 5 to the 1. I'm gonna try out another window here. Oh, before I do that, I should request a like and subscribe and see if I can do that. Which button I hit? Oh, I thought I had that going, but anyhow, please do like and subscribe. Let me see if maybe this will work. There we go. That's it. All right, like and subscribe, turn on notifications. Check out the member area. A lot of the older live streams I archive into the member area for lessons and talks. Let's mention that. All right, let's check out a few more concepts, things. I think I'm going to keep it simple today. Okay. So being selective about your notes. Now, here's a really great thing to do is find pentatonic scales inside your fingerings. Okay, find the pentatonic scales. So let's say you have G. So find these notes. This is sometimes called the G dominant pentatonic. Okay. And so and think about solfege too, sol, ti, re, fa, right? So you play or sol, la. Sorry, I gotta get the la in there. Sol, la, ti, re, Fa. Okay. And then that can land on me, see, so. So really what you're doing is working at this really fundamental aspect of that 5-1. Arthur, thanks for writing in. Request Donnelly, I don't know if you want me to play the chords or the melody, but I'm not warmed up enough to do that tune. But thanks for the suggestion. I do have a video on that on the channel, so so check out that video lesson. I'm still waking up here, and fingers are not warmed up. That's a pretty tough tune. Okay, so select the dominant pentatonic, right, and then elements out of that. And then you can hear the resolution, right? So you can start anywhere on that. That one could actually resolve to both, so. All right. So being selective about the notes within the five fingerings is the takeaway there. Hello, Amos. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. So a little bit about some of those other scales. So you would take these five fingerings. So this is being one of them. And then modify it a little bit for certain circumstances, right? So let's say you really like that that G dominant pentatonic, but you're just looking for a little more tension. Then you could do the flat 9 on that. So okay. So then, well, what happens if you're flatting this note, which would be the A flat? So you made La flat. So take and survey your fingerings and go through and see what's happening with that. See what's kind of different, right? So you've got A flats now. Okay, so that's what's called a harmonic major. So that's C harmonic major. So that's the one that a lot of times folks don't necessarily talk about. At least I don't hear it so much on the internet. Hello, Rolf. How's it going? Hi from Colombia. Welcome. Thanks for joining. It's awesome. Okay. Now, so that's harmonic major. And so let's look at harmonic minor, right? So, and this is one of these big takeaways, Eric, from these five fingerings, is that you want to kind of connect it to some sort of harmony, right? So far we kind of talked about the 5-1 in major. So some ideas from that, like we said, just stick around in the major scale and just be kind of selective about the notes you're choosing from it, or dial it up a little bit, right? And see if you can maybe flat that A flat, flat that A to a flat. So in the relative minor, the same fingerings, Okay, so you just have to like, kind of give significance to the particular note or harmony. So if I play this, right, then I might, be a little more selective. If I'm thinking A minor 7, could play like that. Kind of every other note, really, right? So there we have the, relative minor. Minor gets a little complicated, so I'm going to try to keep it simple and not lose anybody here. But when you have the 5 of the in the relative minor, we need to raise the 4th, or not the 4th, the G. We need to raise the G up a half step so that we get a dominant 7, and then that helps to outline things and create some tension back into it. So that's where you get into the harmonic minor. And you're generally going to be thinking of that in terms of the 5 chord. So that's where I think folks get a little bit lost on it, is that it's really to help out with this 5. So that it resolves over. And that's called Phrygian dominant. So it's kind of all a matter of perspective. So you take these note groupings and you just sort of say what 4, 5, or 3 notes are really significant. What's in the chord? What's in the harmony? And then work from that. So this is the harmonic minor scale. Oh, great. Eric says he just played the A, C, E, G, B. Yeah, that'll sound good. So then you're getting really nice sounding chord, which is the minor 9. Yeah, so the harmonic minor helps us to move back to the A minor. It creates enough tension to make that feel like a tonic. Notice that it's actually the same note in harmonically as the C harmonic major. It's just that in the C harmonic major, you're lowering A, and in harmonic minor, you're raising the G and keeping the A. So that's an interesting phenomenon, right? So that's the third one. So major scale, harmonic major, harmonic minor, and then melodic minor. So and that's great for playing a nice A minor 6 chord, right? So that's melodic minor. And that can also be helpful for the 5 if you have a natural 9. Right? Think about the melody on Autumn Leaves or something like that. It kind of suggests that. So as I said in the recent video, which I recommend checking that out. Check that out as a recent release there. That's minor blues improvisation. So check that out. So take a few notes, right, and work at them, because For one thing, you're probably not going to want to create a line that sounds like this, right? It's an exercise. It's a thing to internalize. That's where I mentioned, set your intention on what you're practicing. If you practice that too much, or that's the only dimension of your practice, then that's what you're going to play when you go to solo. So that's another thing to kind of watch out for and be aware of. So if you get used to taking a few notes, making a nice little simple little easy practical lines, right? Amos says he's got my acoustic out. Got the acoustic out. Cool. Following along. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely great. That is, and Eric says that is a nice resolution. I'll mention too that I'm reading comments off of the desktop and the mobile stream, so you may not be seeing all of the comments at once. Yeah, and that's where I think practice can become really fun. You take and you create, right? You try to come up with lines, and then if you find something that you really like, you see if you can really, burn it in. If you like this, this is a very final sort of sounding resolution. You just try it in different positions. Try it in as many different positions as you can. All up the neck, or go down an octave if it kind of gets, if the body of the guitar is kind of getting in the way, just go down an octave, right? So play it all throughout. If you find something you really like, just play it. Make sure you can play it in the 5 fingerings, right? 5 fingerings around the neck, and that can be obviously a pretty daunting task, maybe, but really worth it, so that you can really fluently move throughout and grab something that you hear. Well, thanks everybody so much for joining me today. Really pretty good turnout. I appreciate it. Thanks for checking this out. I know some folks have notifications, and I did a little bit of a post this morning to kind of get the word out a little bit. But I should be back middle of the week this week, so join me for that. Keep an eye out and turn on the notifications and all that. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So important and worth it, for sure. Yeah, the five fingerings. And I'm thinking about doing a video on that too, the importance of it. So that's one thing I'd just like to leave all you folks with today is try to work with those and be selective. Limit the number that you're gonna play. Try to suggest a harmony, right? And I will mention one other little thing on minor, and I know it's always a little bit complicated with minor. So on minor, let's say minor 6 type chords, practice that with not only the melodic minor, but also with the, what you might just call minor scale, or it's known as Dorian. I would recommend not necessarily calling it Dorian in this context because it's a little bit misleading. Okay, it's just that this is a scale with a minor type scale with a natural 6. Okay, all right, everybody. Thanks so much for checking this out. I do hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a great practice session.